All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unleash Your Inner Badass episode number 23, I think. 23.
Yeah.
And we are the Beach Boss Influencers. We are online coaching community for entrepreneurs, network marketers, and we help you to attract the right people to you so you can stop chasing whoever is that you were told to chase, right? Everyone is your prospect, make a list or whatever. Just when I think about it, I want to throw up. So many years ago, we discovered how to stop doing that and how to attract the right people to us. And now we're actually doing it on autopilot. We don't do the heavy lifting anymore. And that's what our community is all about. We help entrepreneurs to do the same. But in the process, a lot of times, what we are doing is not the problem, right? We do the do and we expect the results, but they're just not happen
Mhm.
quite often. And we discovered that that's because what you're being actually, not what you're doing. So that's why we created Unleash Your Inner Badass podcast. And we actually have the whole course about what to do to stop failing in life and in your business. And if you're interested in that course, there will be a link somewhere above or below. We decided to talk about something that happens to all of us, and that's we notice the pattern when we actually, and it happened to us as well, when you make a big life-changing decision, whether it's sign up for expensive program, like you investing in yourself, you make that scary audacious decision, or even you committing to something brand new and scary, and you get excited and you get so pumped up, and boom, right after you do that, life happens. And a lot of people think that, oh, it's a sign that I should have not made that decision, right? And we kind of like pull back and we shrink to fit the reality. And we want to talk about today. So, what you actually should be doing and how to avoid um, that, because life will be happening all the time. Even when you're going to start making big money, even when you're going to be that leader that you want to be, the problem is actually going to
Getting bigger.
magnify and multiply, right? But you will be prepared to handle them if you just keep going. So, what are we going to, what do you guys have to say about that?
Well, let us know if you're joining us. Let us know if if this has happened to you, if you have, made a big decision, if you've invested in yourself, whether you've invested here, you've invested in other programs, you've made a huge life decision. And
I
then,
have a quick story actually about it, my
yeah,
personal story.
yeah. And
So
then
when
life's
I
happened. Yeah.
invested $25,000 in myself, in my education and personal growth, it happened in Vegas at the event. So while I was flying back home, still on the flight, the fear kicked in, the doubt kicked in, and I literally talked myself out of it while on the plane. I told myself, who do you think you are? Like, you think if you spend 25 grand, suddenly like the magic's gonna happen? Nothing's gonna happen to you, blah, 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 blah. So on that plane, I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna, when I land, I'm gonna email them and tell them to cancel everything because that was the stupidest decision I've ever made. And actually, on the way from the airport home, I was driving from Cincinnati. It's almost 3 hour drive. My van breaks down like completely. Like I push gas and it's like, and it stopped in the middle of like a freeway. And, immediately you'll be like, oh my gosh, thank goodness I'm not spending this 25 grand, right? I need money even to fix that thing and get home. So it always gonna happen to you. Like as soon as you make that decision, life gonna test you. But instead of pulling back actually and um, withdrawing from that program, right, and getting my money back because I need to pay for life for living my normal crappy life, I decided that that was actually a sign that I need to keep going. It actually was a sign that my van could have broken down before I went on that trip. I went to that seminar, whatever you call it, event, because it broke down 2 miles away from the airport, like right after I landed and started driving home. So I knew that it was supposed to break down on my way to Vegas, but it didn't. So I could make that important decision. Like it was like for me, like an like knowing. No one told me that. I could feel it, right? And I started crying that I almost made the wrong decision, right? And I was like, no, baby, I'm going. I'm going to figure out how to fix that van, how to pay for that program, how to do it all, because this is what I was supposed to do. So, anyways, that's my story. One of my things, it's our kind of like survival reaction. Our brain, our body goes into that shrinking mode because we're supposed to fit the environment to survive. And it served us very well in the past, when we lived in, you know, cave times and whatever. We wouldn't be able to survive without this mechanism. But right now, we don't need to, run from tigers or hunt for our food or whatever. So that survival mechanism is still there, but it's no longer serving us. So, what should we do when something like this happened to us? Because I'm going to tell you, it is going to happen to you. It's like a law. The universe is testing you. You announced, you decided you're going to be that badass or whatever. Now, let's see if you really meant it. Because not everyone is going to finish this journey. It's not for everyone, but you can if you know how to deal with all of these pitfalls. So
Mhm.
let us know if this happened to you when you made that big life changing decision and literally the next day or the next week, I don't know, your fridge broke down. Happened to me also. Or I don't know, your roof got blown away. The tree fell on your car. And maybe you decided that that's a sign that I probably should pull my money back from what I invested into, and because I need to deal with life.
So, Whit and I always joke, it's not a sign that we're not supposed to do it. It's a sign that we're supposed to do it, and God is testing us to see how bad we really want it. Any time, and Brandy can attest to this because she's known me from the beginning of my entrepreneur journey. Anytime we make a big move or we decide to make a big move, we've noticed God's hand in like pushing us that direction to make it happen. Because we're pretty stubborn, we're loyal, we don't like to just move ourselves, right? God has to kind of smack us over the head. And every single time we've been like, okay, we're going all in, we're doing this, something happens to try to stop us. Whether it is God testing us, whether it is the adversary trying to stop us, because he will do that. Not today, Satan. Right? That's what we that's what we scream. Not today, Satan. Because I want you to think about it. Satan doesn't want you to be successful. God does, because good people do good things with their money. Good people help others. Good people donate to charities that, you take a look, like first responders, like all of that comes, something that's near and dear to our heart is, we fight human trafficking. Like there's God wants that to happen, right? But the adversary is like, no, we don't want the beaches to be successful, because if the beaches are successful, there's less people for me, right? The more people they bless, the less people I have. It's the exact same thing with you. So anytime something happens, you actually physically yell, "Not today, Satan." And you continue on that path that you decided was better for you and for your family. The adversary does not want you to be successful. The adversary does not want you to make the money, live in the fancy house, make an impact on all those people. He does want you to stay stuck, to stay safe, to not move forward towards your dreams and your goals. He wants you to feel like you are in his grasp. But the only way you can break free of that is by making big ass scary decisions, screaming not today, Satan, and moving forward, even when he's throwing every single thing that he possibly can at you to keep you from doing it.
And maybe you're like listening to this and maybe you're just starting on your journey and this is like the first time it's come up for you. And maybe you're sitting here and you've been on your journey and now you're looking back at all the times that, you know, these situations have, you know, arisen in your journey and you're like, oh my gosh, like you're now seeing a pattern, right? And so as that happens, it will become easier and easier and you'll be aware, like Carrie says, it's like, here it is, right? I knew it was coming because we did this and not today, Satan, right? And you like put that armor on and you're like, bring it. I'm expecting this storm, but I will weather it, right? And I'm just gonna, you know, so after doing that in your own journey, like Kat says, this is something that's always going to continue, right? Even when you have climbed that ladder of you know, success. And so it's how do you handle it at that point? And I'll give you another example and story is that happened before we launched Beach Boss. Okay. So we had put Beach Boss together. We knew when we were going to be rolling this out. And literally right before we launched, we had something like this happen in our lives, right? Where it was like a bomb dropped in our lap, totally trying to take us off course. And if we were to look back, okay, we've now been around for 3.5 years. We have impacted so many lives. And that was a test, right? Because we were about to do something big and we are doing something big and we have such an impact here in this industry. But if we had allowed that to detour us, because it took a toll on all of us individually, you know, definitely tried to knock us off course of what we were doing. But we rose to the occasion knowing this is going to continue to happen as we rise up and we have a greater impact on the industry, on people, on the world, right? And so again, it doesn't just happen to someone who's just getting started. It happens to people all along the journey, okay? No matter what. But you've developed this callus. You have an awareness in your mindset and you know that this is going to come. This is going to test you, right? But it is a test. That's what it is. And it's not a test to say you should go back in your box and just go on with your mediocre life. And I'm not trying to be, you know, rude in saying your mediocre life, but back to what you were doing, right? When you're meant for more, we have bigger purposes as human beings in this world, right? We have just the potential within us to be greater than what we're doing, right? And that's what, you know, the forces are trying to stop. So it is so critical to your business to have the awareness that this is going to happen, but don't let it detour you or push you away. And don't use it in a way of like, God is telling me I shouldn't be doing this. Okay. He's telling you, like Carrie said, can you rise to the occasion? Can you weather that storm? And you can. Okay. And you can.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm actually reading a book right now by Derek Rydell called The Abundance Project. And he explains that almost like on the scientific level. I always like to get into those, you know, why our brain does the way it does, or how all these laws of the universe work. And he says that it's almost like your universe contracts when you make that big decision. And by default, we're programmed to contract contract with it. Kind of like, it's like I said earlier, it's a survival mechanism. So usually, you know, you invested in something big and boom, you lost your job. Your initial reaction would be, oh my God, I can't support myself anymore. I need to withdraw from that program. Or, you know, some health scare happen and you're like, I can't grow my business anymore. I need to take care of my health. Whatever it is, we by default program to shrink to fit the circumstances. And like I said earlier, it doesn't serve us anymore. And what he's saying, it's the law of the universe. When it shrinks, you need to expand. So make it as your sign. If something bad happens and your initial reaction to shrink with it, you actually need to expand. So if you lost your job, you're like, it's a sign. I didn't need that job anyways. I'm going to go and get a better job, because usually we kind of like tend to settle for less, right? Like, oh, I need just something to get by. And we might accept a crappy job just to pay the bills for now. And we stick with it for 10, 20 years, right? So when something like this happen, make it your sign as you actually need to expand, because you can. If you got a rumor that your job is going to be eliminated, have the balls and go ask for a promotion or a raise, right? If, I don't know, your roof got blown away from your house, maybe you need a freaking bigger house and better. And it's a sign, right? But so, and he calls it like a pitfalls of abundance. Like you literally blocking yourself from abundance by shrinking with the environment that you're in. So I hope that's going to help you now to identify when this happens and make a different decision than what you used to make. And honestly, like Brandy and Adrian, friend Carrie said, it will be happening very often. And the more you practice of that expanding instead of contracting, it will become a habit, and you will be able to handle anything with more, I don't know, grace, with more gratitude, with more compassion, instead of like, anger and victim mentality and whatever, right? We're blaming everyone and anyone, but you actually attracted it to yourself. It had to happen to you. So you realize something. So you move in a different direction. So you expand, whatever. Everything is happening not to us, right? It's happening for us and actually
And through us.
It had to happen, maybe not for your lesson, but someone else. So you're like a channel for someone else's growth. Like, that's the coolest thing ever to me, right? To me. So, anyways, I hope this is helpful to you. And when life happens next time, you will be more equipped to deal with it. And you're going to train your nervous system and your brain and your reality that, hey, not today, not this time, right? I know what it is and I know what to do with it. And that's pretty much how we survive anything right now. We're like, it's just one of those things, right? The time will pass. This shall pass. There will be another day. And then we actually realize later that there was a reason why that happened, right? We see the bigger picture usually later, and then it makes sense. Like, oh, that's why that needed to happen. And it becomes almost like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
So pretty cool stuff. I love to talk about this.
I think it's important when shit happens, when life happens, when you get slapped around the face and you think, I can't do this, is to, instead of saying, why the hell has this happened to me? And, what is God doing to me? Whatever your belief is, what is God doing to me? Why is God testing me like this? Instead of saying, thank you, I'm grateful for you giving me this, taking my job away, or, burning my house down, or whatever, giving me this illness. And when you come from a place of gratitude and abundance and realizing that it's happening for you and through you and not to you, is that you can start shifting your mindset, whenever it does happen, that you come from a place of abundance, you come from a place of gratitude, you realize, becoming aware that this is happening to you. And yeah, it might take you a bit of practice, when it first happens, it might take a bit of practice to actually to get there. But when you come from a place of gratitude and abundance, even if you've got young kids, okay, and your baby's keeping you awake all night, all right, and you're thinking, I can't do this course, there's no ways I can do this because I'm awake all night and I'm like a zombie, is okay, well, thank you for giving me this beautiful child. Thank you for giving me the gift to be able to bless this child, to be able to spend this night with her, okay, or him. It is going to go away. What might I do? And you come from that, instead of thinking like, this kid's screaming all night and I'm awake all night and there's no ways I can do it. Shift it around and come from a place of gratitude. What a blessing it is to be able to do that, to be there for your kid. What a blessing it is to be up all night, loving them. Because they will feel that energy instead of feeling the frustration and the anger that you need to get the sleep. Okay, they will feel the love. They will feel the gratitude. They will feel that abundance, and they'll calm down.
Another phrase
Yeah.
came to my mind that now became almost like our habit: make a way out of no way.
Yeah.
There's always a way, right? We're not always can see it right away, but usually if you observe instead of react and make decision after that, then there's always a way.
Everything is figure outable.
Totally.
Everything. Awesome. So I would love to hear what your takeaways have been. And let us know what is testing you right now. What is happening in your life right now that you think, okay, this is a sign. And I need to expand. I need to lean into it. I get to lean into this. I get to play full out. I get to step into my badass. So let us know.
Here's the thing also, when these bad things happen to us, we're usually like, okay, it's not right now. It's a sign that I can't do it right now. I'm going to do it later. Like when the kids go to school, when I make better money, when I have more time. Guess what? Later never happens.
Yeah.
I learned it 100%, 1000%. I don't know. Later, it just never happens. So all you have is right now. And also another phrase, if not now, then when?
Yeah.
Never. So you have to make those decisions right now because you're never going to have more time. You're never going to have more money. Kids always going to be either in school or out of school.
And even when they're grown up, they're still your kids and they're still
You're always going to be busy at your job. Your boss always going to demand more from you. So if not now, then when? Ask yourself that. So that also was life-changing for me when I started asking myself that and making decisions right now. All right. I think that's all we have for you guys today.
Thanks for joining us. And let us know your biggest takeaways. Let us know what's testing you right now. And we will see you all again next week. Take care, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Bye.